Poke means the technique to cut something up crosswise and into pieces. It is spelled P-O-K-E. We don't need that dash above the E. This is a traditional dish that has been rooted in culture in Hawaii for thousands of years. Aloha everyone, Sheldon Simeon here, all the way from Maui, Hawaii, owner of Tin Roof Restaurants and author of Cook Real Hawaii. Poke originally started off using reef fish. To eat fish daily, you'd be fishing on top of the reef. So when it came to poke, you normally wouldn't see like ahi tuna, what you see in the market today. Poke too, it was a way of preserving the fish. Anytime you want to preserve something, you're surrounded by sea salt. So a lot of the times what the Hawaiians would do would just rub a bunch of salt in it and then rub it in or lomi it and massage it. And that salt would permeate the fish and it would last a little bit longer. I love poke for the very reason that you could see all the influences of these different cultures. First one we're going to talk about is the Hawaiian style. One thing that is unique to the Hawaiians is the use of seaweed. You gotta think, in the whole Pacific Ocean, there's all these different Polynesian islands. In Hawaii in particular, they're the very ones that kind of celebrated limu, or seaweed. And all these different flavors of limu impacted what the poke is gonna taste like. No sauces, nothing, just salt, maybe some nuts, some limu, and then later on, some chili pepper. So we'll season this quite heavily. Traditionally, you would take your hands and you'd lomi or massage, get that all into the fish and get that flavor. We're gonna add a little bit more salt to that. Like many places in the world, salt was very important to the preservation of food. They would use macadamia nuts or maybe some inamona, which is roasted candle nuts. That gets added into it. And then I'm gonna add 2 different types of seaweed. Here's some ogo and some limu. So the Hawaiians were these amazing people caring for the land, and in turn the land took care of them. But they would use ingredients from the mountain down to the ocean, flavoring their food, all making it super delicious. So I've got the 2 different seaweeds, ogo and a little bit of lipoa. The Hawaiian chili pepper, pungent, fruity, and spicy as hell. I'm just gonna add a little bit of that to carry us through. That's plenty. But very simple. Fish, salt, seaweed, and nuts. Poke has evolved from its simple form into something that's very complex as the different cultures that make up Hawaii. Japanese brought soy sauce. The Chinese brought oyster sauce. Koreans brought sesame seed, and then a little bit of spice, maybe from the Portuguese. All of this coming together to make what was essentially Hawaiian now turn into Hawaii cuisine. It's crazy to see poke all over the place. Here in New York City, there's poke shops on every corner. Now the poke that you see in these poke shops, they're a little kind of massaged from its original form. It's crazy to see when cultures get represented and presented in this modern world, right? Do we claim it as our own or as inspiration and you can take your creative cues from it? I always like to start off with Hawaiian salt because that is the origin of it all. I'm gonna add oyster sauce and shoyu. That's gonna bring the umami out. Some sesame oil to bring some roundness and some depth. I'm gonna add some sambal for some spice to it. Some toasted sesame seeds for some texture. And then it keeps on going, building these layers, building these moments of history and influence of Hawaii. I'm gonna add some ginger, add some of that sweet onion. If you have the chance to ever taste a kula Maui onion, it'll change your life. So poke in Hawaii, when you go to poke spots, they are normally already mixed together. Unlike what you see here in the mainland. And the idea of the poke bowl, poke that is sitting on top of rice, is very new. You know, even when I was a kid, I don't even remember poke bowls being a thing. With that said, creativity is left up to the chef and yourself, you know. Green onions, not even traditional, you know. Again, whatever the farmers have brought. That's what's amazing about Hawaii. Hawaii was this land that was discovered and bare. It's this magical place that they grew the most amazing things in the world. But as the land got to start to get cultivated and new things got to start be planted into it, you get these different flavors and influence. Both equally delicious. There you have it, two cool versions of poke. It's so rad to see that was practically the same piece of fish. And you can see how it has evolved through the years when something has been simplified like this, and as different cultures come in and bring in the flavors, it starts to evolve like this. That tastes like the ocean, right? The Hawaiians wanted things to taste exactly from where it came from. Everyone requests this is what they want. When they go to the poke shops in Hawaii, you always see the container that's filled the most is shoyu style poke. Equally delicious, full of umami, richness. Either way, they're both still ingrained in Hawaii. One of the pioneers of poke in Hawaii is Chef Sam Choi. He has this poke contest that has been going on for years. One of the things that Chef Sam was actually famous for was frying up the poke. Now, I don't know about you, but there rarely ever is leftover poke. But if for some reason you have some poke that's left over, it can be easily wok fried or in a frying pan and seared on the outside, and just brings this another dimension. So what you get when you add the poke to that very hot pan is this smoky flavor as the shoyu hits the hot oil. It's almost a Chinese technique where you're getting the wake and that smoky flavor, still rare in the middle, but seared on the outside. One piece of fish, three different preparations. The food of Hawaii just continues to evolve as artisans add innovation and flavors throughout the years. There you have it, a little history about poke. Very traditional, contemporary, but all of it, all ono and delicious. So that's poke. Not pokey, not hokey, but poke.